Shalom everybody, welcome back to this channel, Deception from the Beginning. The purpose of this channel is to bring to light what has been done in the dark, and that is that Satan deceived the whole world and he did it from the beginning. But Satan is a spirit, so he uses man to do his dirty work. Today's topic is the give and gave of many has waxed cold. But before I begin, I want to first give the Father all the praises, all the glory, all the honor, all the esteem, all the thanks. And I bless his Kadash name. He is Ahaya Asha Ahaya. That is the I am that I am. Okay, he is all wisdom, all knowledge. He is, was, and will forever be all wisdom, all knowledge, all understanding, all righteous, all truth. He holds all power. He is a sovereign creator that can neither be created or destroyed. He is without border, bound, or boundary. Okay, he is all power, all might. He is the source, and we're all living off of his breath. He is given, gave. If he hadn't given and he hadn't gave, then we would not be. So he is given, gave. So I just give him all the praises, all the glory, all the honor, all the esteem, and all the thanks. Okay, so the title today is The Give and Gave of Many Has Waxed Cold, right? And one of the things that Yahusha said as a sign of his returning was that the give and gave of many will wax cold because of the transgression of the Torah, right? And we know that the Torah is the law, right? And who set the law? Who set the law? The Father is the one that set the law. The laws are the standards. And when we were all born, the Father put truth in all of us. So when he gave us his breath, he gave us truth. So since when he gave us his breath, he gave us truth. That means in all of us, inside all of us, then we know what's right from wrong, because if truth is in all of us, then we already know deep within what is right and what is wrong. Okay, so and not only that, right, the gospel of the kingdom has been preached to all the world. Okay, and so everybody, whether they want to admit it or not, everybody knows that there is an unseen creator who created all things, who holds all power. So if they want to go ahead and if they want to deny it, then that's on them. Okay, because the truth inside of them knows that there is an unseen spiritual creator that holds all power, that created all things. So what's the topic again? It's that the give and gave of many has waxed cold. This is what Yahusha had said in Matthew chapter 24 verse 12. It says, and because the transgression of the Torah shall abound, the give and gave of many shall wax cold. Okay, and the reason why he spoke about this is because his disciples had asked him what was the sign of his coming, and what would be the sign of his coming, and when shall be the end of the world. They said, what shall be the sign of his coming and of the end of the world? Okay, and so that's why he had said that, right? So the thing is that what I was comparing is I was looking at today, and I was going back and I was studying back in Torah days, right? And what I saw was that the Father, he was very, very serious about give and gave about his people being give and gave towards the strangers, the widows, and the fatherless. Okay? He was very, very serious about that, and he warned the children of Israel many, many times that they had an obligation. Well, he warned the men that they had an obligation to not oppress the fatherless, the widows, and the strangers. Because the thing is that Who were these fatherless and widows? Who were the widows and the fatherless and the stranger that was walking among them? And as I was doing my studies, more studies, actually, I was reading something maybe a couple of days before that, and I had seen that where the where when Israel was supposed to go into the promised land, they were given very strict instructions about who to utterly destroy and who to not utterly destroy. And they were supposed to utterly destroy the Canaanites, the Hittites, and the Perizzites, and this group of people, right? So, but there were other groups of people that they were to approach with peace, right? And if those group of people came out and warred against them, then they were supposed to destroy all the male, right? They were supposed to destroy all the men of that nation that came out to war against them. But for the women and the children, they were to save them alive. They weren't supposed to destroy the women and the children. So then I also saw that those would be some of the stranger widows and fatherless that was among them, because what they would do is they would have to make them like hewers of wood, and they were supposed to serve the children of Israel. And the children of Israel were not supposed to oppress them or treat them or treat them bad in any way. As a matter of fact, they were supposed to leave when they were harvesting their crops or whatever. They were supposed to leave some back, even for the Levites, because remember, the Levites didn't have a part or an inheritance with them. So they were supposed to leave stuff back also for the Levites, and they weren't supposed to hoard up everything for themselves. Let me read something to you from Exodus chapter 22, verse 21. It goes like this: You shall neither vex a stranger nor oppress him, for ye were strangers in the land of Mitzrayim. Ye shall not afflict any widow or fatherless child. If he shall afflict them in any wise, and they cry all unto me, I will surely hear their cry, and my what? And my wrath shall be waxed hot, and I will kill you with the sword, and your women shall be widows, and your children fatherless. Okay? And let's read also verse 25. If you lend money to any of my people that is poor by you, you shall not be to him as an usurer, neither shall you lay upon him usury. Right? So a usurer is, I looked it up, a usurer is a creditor or an extortioner, and they add interest to whatever you borrow, right? So let's say you borrow $100 from a creditor, and they require that you pay them back $150 or $200 or even $250, maybe $300 in interest. I mean, that is how it is today when you use a credit card or you take out a mortgage, or you can't afford something, so you have to borrow money, you have to put it on credit, right? Even today, that's how it's set up today, right? Where you have to end up paying back an exuberant amount, from the amount that you had borrowed. You borrow $10,000 because you can't afford to buy a car, so you take a car out on credit, right? By the time you finish paying off that car, you may have, depending on, depending on how less fortunate you are, because because in this system, the way this system is set up, it's like if you are poor, you probably have bad credit, no credit, and so you're the one who's going to be stuck with the very high interest rate whenever you take anything out on credit, right? So that's how this whole system is set up. But the reason why I was thinking on this thing is because America has set itself up, or has not set itself up, but they have portrayed, they have to the rest of the world, that they are a nation under God, right? And a nation that is a Christian nation, yet still, and when you say, oh, I'm a Christian, or you say Christian nation, because they use that title, and it's like once you say that title to the rest of the world, or even to people that's in here, they think, oh, all right, so they're on the creator's side, so they should be good, right? They should be righteous, right? Because the creator is all righteous. And if you are representing the creator, then you should be doing righteous things. But this country, in fact, does not do the things that are righteous, and they do not do the things of the creator, right? Especially in when it comes to this, I mean, in every part, they don't do things that are righteous, you know, because they pretend, they portray to the world that they're a righteous nation, yet still they don't follow the standards, the righteous standards that the Father sets, right? They go against and they do the opposite of everything. But it's almost like it's like, but from a distance, right? When others are outside looking in, and even those that are on the inside, they don't see the the darkness that is underneath. It's only a covering, that the righteousness that they claim, it's only a covering, but inside they're really dark. And even in this one simple example that I'm doing, right? If Yah's standards is that you are supposed to take care of the strangers, the widows, and the fatherless, right? The people that are less fortunate among you, right? Then how is it that then the rich, they have their overflow? And the reason why they have an overflow is because the Father has allowed them to have an overflow, right? And they all claim that they are, many of them, not all of them, they claim that they're Christians and blah blah this and that, right? So supposedly they're following after the Creator, and you know, and but yet still there is, they don't they put big heavy burdens upon the people that are less fortunate, right? The people that have to borrow from them, the people that can't afford to outright buy this or buy that, right? So how is it that they put these kind of heavy burden on them? So in just even in that one aspect, there is not any give and gave. There is not any real give and gave in this country for them to even claim to be a country that is under the Creator, that is under, because when people hear under God, they're thinking the Creator of heaven and earth. They're not thinking, most people are not thinking, which God are you talking about? I mean, like, I think that, you know, but for the majority of the people, they're not thinking, well, which God are they talking about? Okay, but we also have to remember that the enemy, Satan, he's a copycat, and he's a mimicker. All right, so so you know, we can also think, we can also consider that is just that this nation is really a satanic nation, and it's only copying, it's only a copycats trying to copy, it's only a mimic, or trying to mimic as if it's righteous, but it's really not a righteous nation. It doesn't do the right thing. All right, it doesn't do the things that the Creator, it doesn't follow the same standards that the Creator set. It's like it has a form of godliness, but denies the power of the one true everlasting Creator. So yeah, so what I was saying is that the Father also, I wanted to talk about how the Father being give and gave. So the Father is give and gave, and that's what he expected his people to do. He expected them to have his character of give and gave, okay? Even when it came when it comes down to everything, that's who the Father is. He is give and gave, and his people were supposed to have the character that he has of give and gave. And so while these you have the strangers, the widows, and the fatherless that were of other nation that were among them, and also that were sometimes people of their own nation would find themselves in situation where the men was killed in their household, right? and now the wife who became a widow, and now the children are fatherless. So so it wasn't only that the fact that the strangers were the ones that were widows and fatherless, also people in their own nation were widows and fatherless. Okay, but so the father is given gave. Let me go read it from what I wrote it, because so Yah is given gave, and in order for this world to continue living and being, or to have been started in the first place, there had to be a source. There had to be a perfect, almighty, omnipotent, perfect, almighty, omnipotent power who gave it and continued to give it. So what would happen if Yah stopped giving? This entire world would just stop existing. We all exist off of what He gives us. Every single thing on earth is surviving off of the give and gave of the one who created all things, the one who is the source, the I am that I am, the almighty, sovereign, eternal creator. So if we cease to give and gave one another, when Yah is given gave, He is going to execute judgment. He's still going to give and give. What He is going to give and give is His hot wrath and judgment. So not because we stop giving doesn't mean that the Father is going to stop. Okay, He's still going to give and give something. Okay, His will must be done on earth as it is in the heavens. So in Matthew chapter 24, verse 12, a sign of Yahushua's return is that the give and gave of many will be waxed cold, because wickedness or transgression of the law will abound. All right. There will be transgression of righteousness. All right. So if there is no give and gave left among us, then what? Then we are just destroyed. All right. That would mean everyone is just takers. Imagine living in a world where no one gives and people only seek to take, right? But the thing is that that's the type of world that we're actually living in right now, where nobody wants to give. People only just care about themselves and their families, okay? Now the topic again is the give and gave of many has waxed cold. So in Matthew chapter 24, verse 3, I'm going to just try to sum up everything. Yahushua's disciples said, "Tell us, when shall these things be, and what shall be the sign of your coming and the end of the world?" And in verse 12, Yahushua told them, one of the signs was that because the iniquity shall abound, the give and give of many shall wax cold. And then 13, he said that he that shall endure until the end shall be saved. And in 14 it says, the gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations, and then the end shall come. All right, I wanted to talk about also, what is iniquity shall abound mean? Okay? Or what does transgression of the Torah shall abound mean? The thing is that they both mean the same thing. They both mean that sin will be rampant. Okay? They both mean that there will be more wicked and evil than there will be good. There will be more unrighteous than righteous. Yah knows all of our hearts. We may be able to hide wickedness in our hearts from the people around us, okay? But guess what? We can't hide it from Yah. He knows the imagination of the thoughts of our hearts. Just like He knew it back in the days of Noah, it's still the same, because Yah doesn't change. Yah is the same yesterday, today, and forevermore. Doesn't change, okay? What is sin? So we talked about transgression. What is sin? Sin is doing wicked and evil. Same thing, outward or inward. All right? It's still sin. Lying is sin. Stealing is sin. Man laying with man is sin. Adultery is sin. Murder is sin. Oppressing the poor is sin. If you go to chapter 18, verse 6 in Levi, read that also. I'm going to read a little bit of it. This is also sin. Listen to this. Leviticus chapter 18, verse 6. Leviticus chapter 18 verse 6. It says, none of you shall approach to obey that, none of you shall approach to any that is near of kin to him to uncover their nakedness. I am Yahuwah. So the thing is that, go ahead and read the rest of that chapter, because this stuff is taking place today, and it was taking place back then all the way up until today. And you know, want to know something? It's even worse today, because they involve children in it, innocent children. How many boys and girls have been abused by their own kin? Okay, so sin is being disobedient to parents. Also, sin is idol worshiping, because I was talking about what is sin, right? So that is sin, approaching to near of your kin. Also, sin is being disobedient to parents. All right, this is the iniquity that is abounding. It's idol worshiping. A person might say, well, we don't worship idols. Guess what? Anything that you put before Yah is an idol. All right, money, sports, yourself, your home, all right, your spouse, your pastor, your entertainment, like your YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, okay, your Catholic Pope and priests, your bank account, your shoe collection, your watch collection, okay, your hat collection, your purse collection, anything you put before Yah, that is idol worshiping. What is the first and greatest commandment? It's, you shall give and give Yah all your heart, all your spirit, all your mind, all your strength. And then the second one after that is, you shall give and give your neighbor as yourself. So the give and gave of many has waxed cold. All right? So the point is, we are at the end. The give and give of many has waxed cold. And the reason for that is because the transgression of the Torah is abound. Or, as some translations might say, the give and give of many has waxed cold. All right? Because iniquity has abound. So if there is no give and give among us, then what do we have left? Only wickedness, and it will only get worse and worse. But he that endured to the end shall be saved. Okay? But in all of that, we have to remember that there's going to be false Christs, there's going to be false teachers, false evangelists, false prophets. There's going to be, and the reason why they're all there is to deceive us, all right? So I would suggest anyone to go ahead and read Matthew chapter 24 by yourself. And I will be back, hopefully, Yah's willing. I will be back next time. But we have to remember that Yah is give and gave. We would not exist if it wasn't for his give and gave. We exist off of him. We exist off of, he is the source. Okay, we're all down here sucking up and living off of his breath, and not wanting to give and gave others among us. Okay, so that's all I have today. Shalom.